Hello friends, and welcome back to the Joy of Painting 40K. I'm Scarlet Sunday, and today we'll be painting a Scout Sentinel. Now, before we dive into the details, I like to mention that I'm a beginner painter myself, and I absolutely love using the slap chop painting method. It's a fun and forgiving technique that works beautifully for both beginners like me and seasoned painters alike. So, if you're looking a way to get your miniatures table ready without the stress and some lore thrown in, you're in the right place. The Scout Sentinel is a nimble walker of the 𝓂 𝓜𝓮, perfect for reconnaissance and hit-and-run tactics. Let's bring this mechanical scout to life. As always, we start with a solid primer. I've already primed our Scout Sentinel with a matte black primer from the Army Painter. If you want to see me demonstrate how to apply primer, I have a link up on the screen to that video. Now that that's done and dry, let's move on to the next step. Now we're on to the most important step in slap chop, dry brushing. First, we'll start with gray, which will create some nice shadows and highlights on the raised areas. And then we'll hit some of those high spots with a white dry brush. I know some of you might be familiar with the term zenithal highlighting, but I like to call this technique high noon because we're imagining the light sources hitting straight from above, like the sun at high noon. It just sounds more fun, don't you think? And with the gray, you're gonna cover the whole model. You're not even gonna worry about anything else. You're just gonna zone out and just cover. Here we go. So that's it for the gray. It had to go from a medium to a small brush to get some fine detail and get on in there, but I think it was worth it. And I've seen some people just go straight to white, which is totally fine. You know, you could do that too. But, you know, black, gray, white, it's a really great transition. So I am going to use the small one. And just like I mentioned before, it could be zenithal or high noon. So anything you see going up, down, which is a lot, is going to be touch white, which will kind of like branch off a little bit. It'll kind of cascade a little bit on the side there. But as you can see, a lot of the feet doesn't really show it. Maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. It's mainly the hot focus. Hot focus here, right? It'll be the hottest here, a little hotter there. Then kind of cascade a little bit. Even on the sides, it'll hit. So we'll see how it turns out. The Sentinel is a one-man, all-terrain, bipedal vehicle used by the 𝓂 𝓜𝓮, where mobile patrols must be mounted across rough terrain, or where firepower must be deployed rapidly in response to a threat. Sentinels achieve a perfect balance of robustness and mobility, able to negotiate terrain that will mobilize heavier battle tanks and armored vehicles, while still able to face down fire that will shred ranks of infantry. Employed primarily for reconnaissance and light infantry support, the Scout Sentinel is used by many 𝓂 𝓜𝓮 regiments to locate and obliterate knots of enemy resistance in daring ambushes and surprise attacks. Scout Sentinels are fitted with sophisticated gyro stabilizers to assist them as they traverse the rockiest cratered battlefields and the steepest of slopes. Articulated legs enable them to stalk quietly through the dense undergrowth or urban ruins, whilst permitting an impressive burst of speed over open territory. The crewmen of these Scout Sentinels often adapt their vehicles further, and all manner of rough terrain innovations are seen across various militarum regimentos. The Valhallan Ice Warriors often attach servo-driven claw spikes to the feet of their Scout Sentinels that can grip the glacial plains, whereas the Catachan Jungle Fighters have been known to rig their walkers with giant chainsaws to clear a path through thick jungles. While Scout Sentinels range ahead of the main force, conducting hit-and-run raids and ambushes, Armor Sentinels march alongside columns of battle tanks, or at the foe of 𝓂 𝓜𝓮 infantry formations, laying waste to the foe without breaking stride. Both Scout Sentinels and Armor Sentinels are often deployed far from Imperial supply lines, deep within enemy territory. While operating an autonomous unit, the pilots of Sentinel squadrons are often forced to use their own initiative, a quality that is not generally fostered in Imperial soldiers. As a result, many Sentinel pilots have acquired a reputation as would-be hotshots, glory seekers, or insubordinate mavericks. Before we continue, let's take a quick recap break. We've hit over 1,000 subscribers, and that's all because of this amazing community. Thank you so much. If you haven't joined us yet, now's the time. Smash that like button, subscribe, and share us your painting stories in the comments below. Let's keep growing together. Next up are the base colors, where our Scout Sentinel starts to really take shape. Since the Sentinel is part of the Death Korps of Krieg, we'll be using deep red, black, and brown. Colors that are as grim and resilient as the Kriegers themselves. Black will cover the mechanical parts, adding contrast and reinforcing that dark, gritty feel. So we're going to do a lot of the mechanical areas. Some start like the hydraulics. I'm going to do polished silver later. And obviously the panels are going to be red. So for now, we're just going to block in that black. Everyone's not perfect. It'd be a pretty boring world if everyone was perfect, right? Whatever you're pleased with, that's really all that matters, right? It's your model, it's your money, it's your time, it's your prize. First, we'll lay down the deep red on the armor panels, capturing that iconic Death Korps look. Now, I definitely want that to be gold, hoplite gold, of course. I'm definitely going to go around that first, and then go down from there. Hey, come here. You want to do something crazy? Let's dry brush some silver on the black parts. Bear with me, okay? Dry brush isn't always just at the beginning. Dry brush could be for any part. It could be for blending, it could be for merging, highlights, everything, right? It doesn't have to be undercoat for speed paint. In this case, when I did the black on the base color, it was a little too boring. So let's add some gunmetal on top of it, just to make it really pop. Ready? When I was doing the black second coat, it's really just flat and just kind of boring. But once I added some gunmetal, boom, look at that. Ah, I love it. It also creates a little bit of edge highlighting, which if there's an easy way to do edge highlighting, I am down for that for sure. Just a little bit of the parts I'm going to do real quick. It's a lot more glittery than I anticipated. Honestly, it's like Christmas. Ugh. Department store kind of glitter, like it gets everywhere. Okay, so this next part, since you did a little dry brushing on the black, I want to do kind of like a little bit of stippling. Like that stippling is just when you do this on the red a little bit with a brighter color, just on the like edge, kind of like top down, right? So what I did, I got a 𝓑𝓏 Bloody Red, stippling them just a little. Now that the base color is done, let's go in and add in some metallics. We're going to use broadsword silver for the majority of all the silver exposed areas, like the autocannon and the chainsaw, along with some exposed pipes. We're also going to use polished silver for some of the hydraulic bits. All right, next up is going to be the polished silver. All right, to finish up the metallic, we're going to go on with the hoplite gold. Pretty popular for the Kriegers, if you remember. Okay, so while it's drying, I'm going to go in and do the bolts real quick with the polished silver, because I want those to pop.
2 hours later.
Okay, let's finish that missile. Okay, yellow, white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to layer this first, and I'll probably go back over with the zealot yellow, a lot warmer tones. And do that white. And I'll probably, just like what I'm doing with zealot yellow, I'll go back over with the holy white. Okay, so while that's drying, I'll go ahead and do the base black. Drag it across, nice and clean. Very nice. All done. See, look at that. It's perfect. It just brought a little bit of warmth. For the final touches, we'll be using an oil wash to bring out some detail and add some depth. A mild use of the gnome oil will darken those recesses and give our Scout Sentinel a weathered look. I'll be mainly focusing on some of the equipment and maybe some of the metal. Everything else is pretty good. Just a touch of wash, and already our Scout Sentinel looks like it's seen plenty of action. Remember, every brushstroke adds character to your miniature, making it uniquely yours. And there we have it! Our Scout Sentinel is ready for the battlefield and to outmaneuver the enemy. Remember, painting should be about enjoying the process as much as the results. Something you should be proud of. And don't forget, in the grim darkness of the far future, there are no mistakes. Only happy little battles. Keep your hands steady, your spirits high, and may the Emperor guide your hand. Until next time, happy painting, my friends.